And we're back. Average Joe Sports Talk. Got the normal crew in. Got the legendary Bruce Howard. Anybody that knows Bruce Howard they know that he is the biggest, by far and away, Auburn fan there is. He's not a Barner, he's an Auburn fan. Most knowledgeable Auburn fan. I don't care if it's women's soccer, softball, swimming, golf. This man knows who they got. This man knows where they came from. And he knows who they got coming up on deck. He knows every recruit Auburn's ever had, their background, their high school stats. He knows everything there is inside and out about Auburn. Abercrombie's here. We got a unique situation we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to dig into the Urban Meyer situation a little bit, the DJ Durkin situation a little bit. The reason we're doing like a discussion show tonight is because, we don't have a full slate of games coming up. But we do have one game. We're going to go ahead and talk about our first game of the week. Go ahead and knock that out on this show right here, which is going to be Auburn and Washington. With that being said, we'll let Bruce tell us a little bit about Auburn. Coming into this season, Auburn looked like, they look like world beaters. They look like they could beat the Packers. Patriots don't matter for 2 weeks in a row. And then they got over to Atlanta and they kind of had a big letdown. And then the UCF game, I think their heads is winning that game. But as far as talent goes, Auburn has as much talent as about anybody in the nation. They're loaded again at running back. They got all their receivers back and more. Stidham's back. Defensively, their defensive front's nasty. Give us a little rundown of what Auburn's going to be looking like this year.
Well, this is the first time under Malzahn. This is going into Malzahn's 6th year at Auburn. This is the first time he's had a returning quarterback. That's big for him because for most Auburn fans, Auburn always comes out the gate starting slow. And that's one of the things that they got to overcome. And by them playing in the Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta at the Dome, they're 0-2 there so far. They haven't won there yet. So
that's a huge stat. I didn't think
that's something they're going to have to overcome. But definitely, just looking at it from a fan's perspective, they should have the home field advantage easily.
Oh yeah, I think that.
Washington's at the point they sent tickets back. They couldn't even sell their allotted share, so they had to send tickets back. But with that being said, really, under Malzahn, I think there's a comfort level now. He signed a $49 million deal. He has really no pressure on him because you can't afford to fire him because the buyout's so much.
Good point.
So he should be loose and free. He's got Chip Lindsey, offensive coordinator. That's the guy he handpicked last year. And it's at the point now, Kevin Steele, which I didn't approve of the hire at the time, but he's probably been the best defensive coordinator that he's ever had. And he's been around, he's coached at Baylor. As a head coach, he wasn't successful, but he's got NFL experience with the Carolina Panthers. He's coached under Saban twice. So, with that being said, some of that has to rub off on him.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's why Auburn is so fundamentally sound under him defensively, because there's nothing he's never seen before. You can't catch him off guard. He's got 35 years of experience, so there's nothing you can do to him formation-wise that he's not seen before.
Right.
And with Stidham coming back at quarterback, that is so huge because when he got to Auburn, he hadn't played in a year and a half. He played 3 games at Baylor as a true freshman, broke his ankle, and that's when the Art Brow situation, all that came about. So he left Baylor, and he was out of football for a year and a half. And so when he first got to Auburn, the first couple of games, you could tell he was looking at the pass rush.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, he just had to get adjusted to the speed of the game. And it's like now, he's back. The biggest key to me is replacing 4 starters on the offensive line. People's like, well, you're replacing all these guys on the offensive line, and they didn't really play that well last year. But the 4 new starters, 2 of them play a lot. Mike Horton at right guard. You got Markel Harrell at left guard. They both played last year. And last year, Mike Horton was probably the best guard they had until he got hurt. Now he's back this year. You got Caleb Kim at center. He's been in the program 4 years. He's a third-year junior. But I think the biggest key for them, they was able to get the transfer from UMass, Jack Driscoll. He's been in college football now 4 years. He's still got 2 years eligibility left. And if you notice, he played against 3 SEC teams in his career at UMass, and he graded out the highest out of all, non-Power 5 guys against when he played SEC teams like Mississippi State, Florida, and whatever. But the key to Auburn also, defensive line. You got Derek Brown at tackle. You got Marlon Davidson at end. It goes on and on. You got Nick Cole at 6'6", about 280 at one defensive end. But I think the biggest key is experience too. You got 3 5-year, 5th-year senior linebackers. That's hard to come by.
It's huge.
I mean, you got Darrell Williams, you got Deshaun Davis, you got Montavious Atkinson. I think just being kind of young in the secondary, I mean, both corners have played a lot. You got Jamal Dean, you got Javarius Davis. They played a lot, but you got young safeties, though. And the thing about it, hopefully, the thing for Auburn fans, you got to hope with that front seven, that's going to help the secondary out.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a big game for Auburn going against Washington. Washington's got one of the best coaches in the country. Chris Peterson, it speaks for itself. You're not going to outcoach him. I don't care who you are. You might have better players than Washington sometimes, but you're not going to outcoach him. And he's had all summer to get ready for Auburn, too. But it comes down to then they got Jake Brown at quarterback. You got Miles Gaskin at running back. That's big. I mean, both of them guys are seniors, too. They've been around for a while, but they're replacing some guys, too. It's like they're replacing Pettit, the receiver. I mean, he was one of the best punt returners in the nation last year.
Yeah, he was nasty.
Then you got
the joystick guy.
That's it. Then you got Vega. I think he was our big nose guy. He left. He went ninth in the draft to Baltimore. So they're replacing some guys too. But I just think overall, Browning sitting in the pocket and going against that front. He's not a mobile guy either. Not really. I mean, he's got a fairly good arm, but I don't know. I just feel like overall, I think it's gonna be a good matchup. But I give Auburn the edge just. For one, playing in the backyard, for one, you should be able to hold serve, pretty much playing at home, you would think, but we'll see. I mean, it just comes down to line of scrimmage. Can Washington's offensive line handle that defensive front?
I got a question for you. I'm not trying to take a jab at Pac-10 or anything like that, but
right.
I don't think this defensive line is going to be like some of these SEC defensive lines that they're going to face later.
They will never. There's not I can't think of any Pac-10 or 12, whatever they call it now. Yeah, I can't think of any defensive line that would even come close to SEC.
Last year on the road, anybody who watches football knows that's not the same offensive line that faced Clemson, that faced Georgia and Alabama at the end of the year.
A good comparison.
They got better as the year went on.
A good comparison would be when they played Alabama and Atlanta a couple years ago in the playoffs. Same thing. They couldn't handle Alabama's defensive line. You know.
That's a good point. Josh, you got a little bit something to say about Washington?
Make a lot of good points. Not so fast, my friend. All right. You talked about Chris Peterson. Chris Peterson, I don't know if y'all know this or not, is 129 and 29 as a head coach. He is a two-time Bear Bryant Head Coach of the Year award and a Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year. He's going to have those boys ready to play. I can guarantee you that.
I love the stats. What has he done against the SEC?
Well, Boise State and Georgia.
Right.
And, Washington, Alabama, but that's Alabama.
I give him the best game he's ever coached in his life was Boise State against Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma. That's one of the best football games I've ever watched.
I think we're all.
Statue of Liberty play.
He did a couple of them.
Right.
Water bucket. He did all kind of stuff.
Okay. Washington, they are replacing Jonathan Smith, who left to go be the coach up at Oregon State, which really had me concerned. But, I got to looking at who they're replacing him with. It's a guy by the name of Bush Hamden. His first year as offensive coordinator. But get this. This guy has coached he coached most notably last year at the Atlanta Falcons as quarterbacks coach for Matt Ryan. He has been to Florida, Arkansas State, and everywhere he's went, the quarterback passer rating has gone up from the previous year. This guy is a quarterback guru and has looked for him to improve on the already talented Jake Browning. Speed merchant. All right, Chico McClatcher. Remember that name because that guy, Washington loves to get him the ball however they can. Okay, he's listed as a wide receiver, but they will jet sweep him, end arounds. He returns punts, returns kicks. I think they listed him at 5'7".
Slip screens.
Yeah, any way they can get him the ball, they're going to get him the ball. Now he's got potential house to the house speed whenever he touches the ball. Now he's not very big, so he's not going to be hard to bring down, but you got to catch him first. But, he can really, he's very dangerous when he gets the ball, no matter how he gets the ball. And Washington's got a 4-star true freshman that they've got starting at wide receiver. And I was shocked when I looked at that. But I watched some of his high school previews, highlights. Kid has exceptional hands and has a great route running. So he won the starting position. He's starting opposite of Chico McClatcher. With that being said, I think Auburn's defensive line's way too big, way too fast. I think Auburn will edge them out, but not by much.
One thing about Washington that I did notice, though, not to mess myself up, and looking at Auburn, they have all four guys in secondary are coming back. They led the Pac-12 with 18 interceptions.
Oh yeah,
I mean that's key.
Probably
right
the best secondary in the nation, honestly.
Right.
But I guess I'll pick up right there. All right. Here's the thing. I think Auburn's going to beat them. I think they're going to beat them handily. I think at some I do. Well, of course we all know I'm a Stidham guy. I'm telling you, I love Jarrett Stidham. I wish he was at Florida. It was between Florida and Auburn, and he went to Auburn.
Probably good for him.
Good for him, obviously. But
Until proven otherwise.
McElwain would have turned him into a middle school quarterback last year. But I understand. I love Chris Peterson. There was times that Bo and I have talked during our numerous coaching searches at Florida over the last 10 years that we wanted Chris Peterson. We love Stan Anderson, another one. We want Chris Peterson. But at some point, the Jimmies and Joes come into play, and it's just that you talk about the little speedy receiver. What's he going to do when the outside linebacker is just as fast as he is running to the sideline? You're actually going to have to pound the ball a little bit against an SEC team. We all know that. And again, I know you think Auburn's going to win the game, but I think Auburn will just out physical them. Stidham, that secondary won't see a quarterback as good as Stidham this year, and I know he's in the Pac-12. But another thing for this game that's huge for this game is the Pac-12 needs this. They need this game. If they don't win this game, and Washington's going to run the table in the Pac-12, there's no doubt in my mind. If they can't win this game, and at the end of the year, it plays out to where they have one loss, and they're trying to get in the Final Four, well, we're not going to let you in the Final Four because you just got dismounted. Now, if they go against Auburn and maybe lose close game, then okay, you can see it.
The spread is.
Yeah, 3 points, then I can see it. But there's a whole conference cheering for Washington to come over here and beat Auburn. But also another thing about that is Auburn, and if this stat's wrong, you tell me, but I read this earlier today, Auburn hasn't won against a ranked opponent outside of Jordan-Hare since 2014.
I don't know, but as far as a key matchup, this is a top 10 matchup. Auburn's ranked 9th, they're ranked 6th. In true openers against ranked teams, Auburn's 1-7.
Yes, I read that too. Yes,
That's kind of USC games when
that's back. They play USC back to back.
Yeah.
So history is kind of in Washington's favor, but I just, like I said, like with Jimmy's and Joe's, Auburn's just going to be too physical. It's the Pac-12 guys.
Right.
We can sit here and try to make out like it's going to be.
Washington needs the game for the Pac-12.
Yes.
But anything happens to Auburn, they lose that game, Auburn can make up that because of the schedule they play in front of them. They control.
It's a bigger game.
Bigger game for Washington.
Yeah.
Much bigger. But I think again, Stidham, I think the only quarterback I would pick in the country better than him is Will Grier. I love Will Grier he was a Gator, but he's slinging all over the place up there at Hogerson. But anyways, I have the game Auburn 34, and I don't see Washington scoring any more than 17 points. It's double-digit win.
I like it.
Is that similar to Alabama USC that year?
No, sir. I think it's
a much better Washington team than USC team was.
28. I go 28-24. I know Peterson. I mean, if you can coach, you can coach. There's no. You can't hide that. I mean, he's had all summer to get them ready, and they'll be ready.
Peterson and breaking in 40 offensive linemen for Auburn is the two X factors in my book. I'm with you, bro. I'd give Auburn a slight edge. I think if I was a betting man, I'd put a little bit of money on Auburn, but it wouldn't surprise me if they got under that line either.
Yeah.
The line at 2.5 right now.
Down to 2.5. Yeah. Yep. So, what's your final score on that?
I'm gonna say 31-28 Auburn.
So that's good enough to get Pac-12 in if they run the table.
Probably.
Depending on the situation.
What else happens around?
Depending on how Auburn plays out too.
Yeah, if Auburn falls apart.
If Auburn was to lose to
right.
Mississippi State, and Alabama, and a couple more, then
This
And
game
also-
has big implications.
How does Washington handle this loss if they lose?
Right.
You know, I think we all feel pretty good that they're going to run the table. You know,
Yeah. I think
so.
Yeah. We're going to shift gears here. We're going to touch on something real fast that I think is huge news all around the nation. Nobody can escape this. We're going to go talk about the Urban Meyer situation a little bit. We're just going to touch on it briefly. Going to move on. We're going to talk about EJ Durkin too.
This is our first breaking news on Average Joe's. Sports Talk. He's been suspended for 3 games.
So that's official.
It's official. He's been suspended on ESPN right here. Urban Meyer suspended. Now that's without us knowing. So we haven't opened anything saying what they found, what led them to suspending him for only 3 games. So all we're going to speak on is prior to this.
Now, when they say suspended, he has no football application. He can't even be there,
No.
correct?
Right.
No practice, no nothing. Like he has to go.
Yeah, who are the
remove
first
himself.
3 games? I mean, that's, you know.
He has to remove himself from the team. All right, so with the 3 games coming now, Josh, I want to hear what you got to say.
I feel like they split the difference on this. I think they played it safe. You know, we put a poll out today, and there was a lot of support for no suspension.
And that coming from SEC country is wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody hates him.
Yeah, he's not the most loved guy around here. I do love him, but
Yeah, there were several people that said, look, I can't stand the guy, but nothing should happen. Me, I don't know. I kind of think he knew all about it. You know, now I've used the line, you never try to break up 2 dogs fighting, you never get in somebody else's, a married couple's business. But when a man is abusing a woman, I think someone needs to do something.
Yeah,
So,
especially if you know
and
for sure.
if we're going to sit here and say, if you're going to try to convince me that he didn't know, then you're trying to convince me that his wife didn't tell him, none of his assistants told him, you know, because all of the assistants' wives knew,
That's
Urban
been
Meyer,
established.
Sherry Meyer knew it. So I'm almost 100% certain he knew it and he allowed it to happen. But then again, you know, she called her parents and they said the same exact thing. Hey, you know, he'll lose his career. Don't say anything. Which to me is despicable. But I couldn't imagine me having a daughter and saying, don't say anything.
It's hard for me to imagine Ohio State firing him. He's probably going to end up being either their second best coach ever or their best coach ever when it's all said and done.
Probably.
So it's going to be hard for them to let him go. Bruce, what's your opinion on it?
That's why I was gonna say the same thing too. If it had been somebody else besides maybe Saban, Peterson, Urban Meyer, it's probably been fired.
Yeah.
Probably, but I mean, and the thing about it, also about Urban Meyer, I don't really know as far as Ohio State, but to me, he has a track record of this kind of stuff too, though.
Once Woods dug into some stuff that
Right.
come up in Florida, a lot of players started talking once some of this came out. Woods, you want to talk about that?
they did a lot. There's a few players didn't. It was rough at Florida. I mean, 31 players get arrested under his tenure, and he's admittedly said, "Hey, look, I was too lenient in Florida." And if we're just gonna sit here and pretend like Nick Saban's not lenient, any coach out there is not lenient, we're just kidding ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on who you are. Now, if we got this third string safety sitting back here, it's never gonna touch the field. Hey, buddy, you're gone. See, I kicked him off the team. Yeah, what more do you want? But look, he's admitted he knew about 2009. No arrests were made. 2015, you know, here's the thing that bothers me, and I like Urban Meyer. If he claims he didn't know about 2015, am I wrong? I remember reading where there were pictures exchanged. So there's pictures. Why were no arrests made then either then, is what I don't understand.
I don't think this was just an Urban Meyer failure. I think this was a failure of the system.
He actually says, look, when he came back in his apology, he said, okay, yes, I did know. I panicked on stage, you know, and I wasn't truthful. I did report it to the higher up. So here's my thing. Now, seeing this too is easier. Someone above him is going down. With this 3-game suspension, I think he did. I think he. Now I will tell you this, and I wrote this down. The great Earl Bruce, and that's one of the greatest coaches in Ohio State history. He's Urban's mentor. This guy Smith. Zach Smith. That's Earl Bruce's grandson.
Yep.
Yes.
So I could see Urban putting a little more into him. This bothers me. We know Earl Bruce passed away recently. Not too long after that, Zach Smith gets fired. They ask Urban Meyer at the Big 12, how was it, Big 10? The Big 10 meetings, why did he get fired? And he just kind of brushed it off. He didn't give an example. He didn't give.
I don't think that's something you need to discuss out in public.
Yeah, but something happened. I mean, what? I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't speculate. I don't know what happened. Something. There were no findings, is what he said, and it wasn't a big deal. He even brushed 2015 off. So was there something else? Was there something more recent
that we don't know about?
Yeah, that we don't know about, and maybe it'll come out in this when we go home and read this tonight. Maybe it'll all make sense to us then. But did Urban? He says he followed the chain of command. If he did that, the only thing he actually did wrong, and people are mad that he brought him from Florida to Ohio State with him. I don't know. Arrests were made in 2009. So what is he? Hey man. I could go up there right now. And I'm not saying he didn't do anything against lady. If he did, that's terrible. No man should ever do that. Put his hands on a woman. But I could say, Bo just punched me in the face, and why are you going to get fired from your job tomorrow because of that? Something has to be found, and if you get arrested, then you'll get fired.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying it's okay. What I'm saying is he didn't have a reason to fire him at that point.
No paper trail.
No paper trail. No. And so hey, you're Earl Bruce's grandson. He hired me as graduate assistant. He mentored me. Yeah, come on with me. Now, if he followed the chain of command in 2015, like he did in 2009, no findings. The only thing he did wrong was lie to the media, and that's
coaches do.
Why would we fire him for that? And maybe to appease everybody, like you said, they met in the middle. The first 3 games is Oregon State, Rutgers, and they do play TCU at TCU on the 15th. And that'll be rough, but
hey, if lying to the media was something a favorable offense, Belichick would be toast.
Tom Brady's been on that injury report every week.
Hell, his whole career.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about Durkin, there is a unfortunate, very awful something that happened in that situation. Who's actually from the Urban Meyer tree. Another. I hate to keep bringing Urban up in a bad light, but this kind of stuff's taken away from the season coming up. Bruce, what do you think about it?
I just go back to what Will Muschamp said. He worked with him. He was the defense coordinator at Florida. He said he's a stand-up guy. He'll vouch for him. But my thing is, I don't really know a lot about Maryland football. but to me, there's always a thin line between tough and crazy.
Yeah.
You just got to be careful. But
you've seen Junction Boys?
Sure. That's crazy. So. But I know the first thing they did, the athletic trainer, they dismissed him. So, the thing about it, they're going to end up settling with this guy's family for a lot of money. But all the money in the world is not going to bring him back.
That's true.
So, I don't know. I don't really know a lot about it, but, you see it every year. These guys are here practicing in this heat. And to me, with all the technology and stuff we have now, there's got to be something.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Josh spoke on that earlier.
If you're going to ask these boys to go past their breaking limit, you've got to have procedures in place for when they do go past that limit. And, I was reading up on it today. This was called, the consensus opinion on this was that this was an exertion heat stroke, which, from everything I've read, your core body temperature is going to go up to 108 or higher. From there, you have 30 minutes to get them cooled down back below 104. Now, I don't know. They say it usually takes about 8 to 10 minutes for you to start showing signs and symptoms of it.
I think this in a cold tub, right? They go into an ice tub.
That's the number one thing they recommend is getting them into an ice tub. And if you can't do that, just pour water on them, get their body cooled down.
So part 2, that works.
So,
somebody nodded. Inside. Good.
The ball was dropped by somebody. Now Maryland, like you said, they let the athletic trainer go. I think, and if they're, you had some players come out and say that this was a, thing that happened all the time, bullying, crazy, derogatory remarks. I'm not saying these players should be coddled, but this is football. It's going to happen
on every level.
at every level.
There's middle
High
school kids today with
Right.
heat strokes.
Yes.
Today, as we speak.
So, you know, I don't know. Maybe it was the athletic trainer's fault. I don't think they'll get rid of Durkin.
I got something I'm gonna say on it. I was listening to Greg McElroy, who was on Jocks the other day, and he was on there just like going off, saying the training staff needs to be put in jail for murder.
Right.
He was like, "This is ridiculous. They know they got procedures in play. They didn't follow any of these procedures. For somebody to lose their life is absolutely absurd. They need jail time. They need to be locked up right now." I'm like, bro. I mean, it's very, very unfortunate. A kid died, but to say they need jail time, I mean, I don't think they need jail time. Loss of job, okay, I'm fine with that. But you need to start at the top because if you're going to lose jobs, let's start with Durkin, in my opinion. And the reason I say that, Durkin is the guy who put these other guys in play to watch these kids. So if we're going to start axing people, let's start at the top and work our way back down. Ultimately, he makes all the decisions.
And he sets the tone for that entire team, for that organization. If you look at Saban and Belichick, you know, when Brady or any Patriots player gives a press conference, it's almost like hearing Bill Belichick speak.
It's a robot. They're trained.
So he's going to set the tone, and if he has if he set this kind of tone, then yeah, he needs to be let
I
go.
agree. Woods?
I think I'm okay if they get rid of Durkin because of I'm not really knowledgeable about what exactly happened. I did read today that the kid was stumbling around in 100-yard gashers and or 100-yard sprints and you know, stumbling around. He was forced to keep going, keep going. And his parents actually said he's that guy that if no matter what, he's not. If you tell him to do something, he's going to do it. I'm okay if they didn't take the right protocol. You know, supposedly it happened at 5 o'clock. 911 call didn't get made till 5:50. Now, but the UAA says there was nothing happened at 5 o'clock. You know, and that's whatever happens there. I understand what they decided to do, but the thing I have a problem with is these players, like we said earlier, coming out and saying, you know, oh, you know, they were mistreated, we're bullied. Well, you're anonymous. What's your name? Tell me your name. Are you the third or fourth string linebacker that was a high school superstar that's disgruntled? Because you show me any third or fourth string linebacker and I'll show you disgruntled player. It's mad.
Yeah.
And it'll say anything. He may be mad at Durkin because he felt like he should have started over Billy Joe over there at right outside linebacker. And that's not saying maybe, you know, some things he says on there that they were done, you know, I'm pretty sure we could walk out to any field and probably hear the same language, the same. You kind of, as a parent, when Brax took the football field, did you expect him to go out there and be talked to like you're in service on Sunday morning? I mean, no, none of us expect that. Yeah, I mean, it's not how it works. We watch enough TV to know that. I mean, that's just the way it is. So I have a problem with the anonymous player thing. If you want to put your name on there, bro. I mean, put your name on it. Yeah, if I'm going to say something about you, I'm going to tell you, well, that was Shannon Wood that said that, you know, but.
Because you're taking a guy's
yeah, it's his career.
livelihood.
Yeah, but they're young and they really don't think that way, you know. They're still upset and mad and mom and daddy are telling them and aunts and uncles telling them, well, buddy, you should be starting. You know, it's like that out here at the Pee Wee fields. You know, this kid scared to death, steps out of the way of somebody, well, buddy, you should be, why are you not starting? You know, I'm like, well, dude, he moved out of the way of the running back. You know what? But anyway, disgruntled players say things, and if you're anonymous, I got a problem with that.
Staple your name.
Yeah.
It's like the Green Bay receiver
Oh yeah.
who was talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Get out of my face with that. I seen that. That's just comical. Bruce, you had something?
Oh, just the new transfer rules. You want to see a lot more of that too.
Yeah.
So that's the key. Now you can go anywhere. You can sit out here and go anywhere you want to now.
Yeah.
So
You had a transfer that's at Arizona now who was saying the same thing about
Yes.
Texas A&M.
Yes, got Jimbo, and that's what I saw today. I was watching maybe First Take or something. They said, you know, normally it takes. No, it was Wake Up, that new show. But anyways, they said normally it takes. It's a process to get a rule change, but they said you'll see that one change in 48 hours because hey, wait a minute, bro, you're trying to, you know, so just because you wouldn't let me transfer and get my immediate eligibility, and which to me is silly anyways. I don't care where you go. If you don't want to be here, buddy, go. I mean, why? If an Auburn player,
I just
was that running back?
agency down.
There was a running back that went from Alabama to Auburn.
Corey Grant.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had to sit out a year.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know,
He wasn't even on scholarship. Had to pay his way the first year.
Yes, that's
all
right.
that's changed now.
Yeah. I mean, if he wants to leave, let him leave, bro. I mean, if he wants to go play for somebody else, let him go play for somebody else.
Well, you also don't want to let him go to a rival school that you're going to play.
Which
I
coach gets to say about that though.
Yeah.
All right.
But he won't release to certain teams, isn't it, correct?
I think so. I mean, look at Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's absolutely killing in the NFL, by the way. Who knew that guy was that? You know what I'm saying?
I didn't.
But let me throw this up. We're going to change gears. We've got one more topic, then we're going to shut it down for tonight. This is probably the biggest topic in the state this year. I mean, coming into this season, and that's Tua versus Jalen. Who's going to start and why? Before you two absolutely oppose each other on this. I want Bruce's opinion as an Auburn fan. Who he wants to see start, or who do you think deserves to start?
Well,
Whoever he sees that he wants to start is.
I would prefer as an Auburn fan, Jalen Hurts.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think he could beat us with his arm. He might beat us with his legs. But with that being said, I mean, the guy's 26-2 as a starter. I mean, it's like his dad said, he will be the biggest free agent in college football, which I hope he don't come to Auburn, which I don't think we need him. But I think he's earned the right to at least start, I would say, and see how it goes. But to me, as an Auburn fan, does it really matter? When you can just hand the ball off to this 5-star running back, I don't even really know Alabama's depth chart, but they're loaded. I mean, you got Najee Harris, Damian Harris. I mean, I don't know. But the thing about it, Alabama's got all these 5-star receivers like Jerry Jeudy. I know him. I know the Russ guy from Montgomery. Them guys are waiting for somebody to give them the ball. I mean, that's the thing about it. But with Alabama's schedule and the way, especially our offensive line with Jonah Williams and all them guys, I mean, it's who's going to challenge them?
Well, don't play a ranked team till November.
Good point.
Yeah, they're not going to get challenged until.
The only thing about them coming from an Auburn side, I would wonder about their depth at linebacker. They've had some injuries there, and that's secondary because when you go against teams like Ole Miss, Missouri, that can actually throw the ball downfield, if you don't get to that quarterback, it'd be some problems.
Yeah, Missouri's, well, their stats of that was just gaudy at best. Dig into it.
Well, as an Alabama fan, I think Tua should get the start. And the reason being is, if you look at the few losses Alabama has had in the past, one of the things you have to do is stack the box, stop the run. And with Jalen in there, that allows teams to do that and to man up on those wide receivers and to bring more into the box. When you put Tua back there, if you stack the box on Tua, he's going to take the top off real quick. He's the more accurate passer. If you've got an accurate passer who can throw the ball down the field, that opens up the running game for Damian Harris, Najee Harris, and you've also got Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, Ruggs, that with Jalen in there, they're running routes, but that's all they're doing. One of the biggest faults with Jalen, in my opinion, one of the things that I seen was his progressions. He would read his first progression. Sometimes he would make it to the second progression, but if that second progression was not open, he was looking to run the ball.
He would roll to the right and either throw it out of bounds or run out of bounds or take a sack.
And
he did it every play. It looked like he did it every play.
He had a bad habit of not keeping his eyes down the field while he was running. You know, and I hate to compare him to Aaron Rodgers, but I was watching Aaron Rodgers the other day, and his eyes, he's scrambling, and his eyes are still down the field looking.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, Jalen. Now, he may have worked on that this summer, and he may have worked on his deep ball, but if his deep ball and his progressions have not gotten any better, he definitely will not get the start, in my opinion.
I don't have a dog in the fight. I do, because if they wind up putting Tua in the start, I may actually cheer a little harder against Alabama. And there's one reason, Hurts, the guy, like you said, he's 26 or 27-2. If you go back and watch the national championship game and you watch the highlights, you're right. He rolls around to the right, and they broke it down. I sat and watched. Somebody was defending Jalen Hurts, and I'm watching. He's got 3 options. All 3 of them are covered. He's got a spy on him. So what's his job? His job's to throw it out of bounds. He's a Nick Saban quarterback. He is taught not to make the mistake that puts my defense in a bad situation. He threw 1 interception. It is play calling.
Safe play calling.
That's right. And you go back to the second half, and the play calling, it opens up, and maybe that's because Tua can run a little bit more of it, I guess. I don't know, or maybe the coordinator made an adjustment at halftime that he might have, maybe should have made in the first half. I don't know. All I can tell you is Jalen Hurts' completion percentage last year was 61%. Right. That's pretty high for a guy that can't throw a football.
But look at his average yards per attempt.
Oh, there's 8.2. But I mean, that's when you have the running game. That he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't. And another thing is, again, like we just said, Nick Saban doesn't want that. That's why everyone's clamoring for Tua. And even in the championship game, it was just like, okay, dude, just go in, because Saban knows I need Hurts right there, because he's not going to put my and Tua threw that interception in the second half that should have buried them. That should have been it. And then he's the one that took the 14-yard sack. That's what Saban doesn't like. Hurts doesn't make those plays. Yeah, he throws out of bounds a lot, but if he threw it in this coverage right here and threw a pick, then I could see someone getting mad.
I've got a huge point on the tail end on that right there. There's an interview with Saban I actually watched where Saban said everybody's like praising him like it's the greatest decision ever to play. He said, no, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
He said the guy went 54 for 58 in practice against our defense. That's not that safe. He said the guy was ready to go. I put him in, and the rest is history. It wasn't some big move I did on my part.
We got to see a lot of Tua in mop-up duty, and we were very impressed. I was very impressed with what I seen.
Everyone loves the backup, like we talked about the other day. This is no lie. When Tebow was the quarterback at the University of Florida, we're talking about the greatest college quarterback. In my opinion, he's the greatest. But everyone can probably agree he's one of the greatest. Right. And people were screaming for Johnny Brantley, the five-star backup.
I was in Kentucky when Tebow went down. That's when a couple Gator fans.
Yes, they're all we get to see John Brantley. Are you kidding? And I mean,
his legacy.
Yes, I mean, you got Cam Newton sitting there on the sidelines too.
Yeah.
He was pretty good too.
Yeah, he wound up being pretty good. But the only backup I've ever seen work out like that is Tom Brady. Obviously, he's. I take that back. Steve Young should have been starting over Joe Montana because he's horrible. But he's the most overrated quarterback I've ever seen in my life. But Steve Young was.
We got a whole other show to do.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to touch on that again.
We're gonna be I can't take these Montana fans anymore. Dude. I can't do it. The greatest quarterback in 49ers history is Steve Young. But back to, I don't know. Tua may go out there and light the world on fire, man. He may. I don't know. But it should be Hurts' job first. I agree with you. Let's see what he's got again.
Let me say this about Tua also. I'm not going to compare him to Jeremy Johnson, but the kind of hype that he's getting.
Oh, yeah.
Early Heisman favorite.
He's a favorite. He's not even a starter yet.
To be fair, the guy came in as a true freshman at halftime.
Right.
13-point deficit and led us to a national championship win. The hype
is not deserving.
But
he's never done it before on his own. He's never started
when they game plan for him
and had to go through a whole SEC gauntlet like Hurts has.
Can I tell you what I can compare it to a little bit? Is when Colt McCoy went down and they weren't moving the ball at all, and then the backup come in and went up down the field on Alabama.
Gilbert.
Right.
Yes.
Or it's a similar situation.
Or even with Ohio State that year, they went through all them quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But then the next year, when he had the job to himself, it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Bro, we're in second and 30.
Second 26.
Second 26. What do you think we're running? We're running streaks. Why is the safety? Why is he not?
Because Tua looked him off.
There's two safeties back there.
It's cover two.
It's cover three. It should be cover three, surely.
They were in a cover two. Man.
I saw him look, but the safety should never, ever.
Get deeper in the deepest and wide as the widest.
He never should have been open, and Tua didn't look to see if he's open.
But
he looked and threw it.
Even under Kirby Smart's defense at Alabama, what was they known for? Again, being on third down and long.
Yeah. That's what they're known for.
Yep.
Because he's so aggressive. I'm gonna throw one point out. I didn't want to get into the argument that much, but just from the outside looking in, everybody knows I can't stand Alabama at all. It's just I don't even hide it. I'm not gonna try to hide it because I'm on the show now. To me, Tua just seems more scrappy.
Right.
He just seems scrappier than Jalen. Jalen is what Wood said. He's a system type quarterback that they call a lot of conservative play calls for. The biggest X factor of them all, and nobody's mentioned it here tonight, but I'm gonna bring it up. He looked that good under Lane Kiffin.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's the X factor. Lane was not there last year. Lane knew how to utilize him.
Right.
Lane Kiffin brought out the Jalen Hurts that we knew that year.
Yes.
Jalen's playing like his hair's on fire under Lane Kiffin. I think Kiffin needs a little bit of that credit. in my opinion.
But what's Alabama going to need this year with that defense? Like we talked about in their defense isn't going to be able to say when Tua throws that pick that should have ended the game, the defense steps up, makes a play. That defense is so raw this year. Can they withstand a Tua that's going to gamble a little more than Hurts? And is it going to cost them a game or two that Hurts would not
I
cost
wish they had that big game early that could test them.
Yeah.
I wish they played
We
Ohio
thought-
State this year.
We thought we had it with Louisville, and then Lamar Jackson left. But, that's the thing is maybe Jalen should get the start to see if he has worked on his progressions, worked on his passing ability. But
His rating was 150.7 last year, man. That's outstanding.
I think we can all agree though. This is his last year at Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's
Unless-
He'll be a graduate transfer because he graduates this year, right?
Oh, yeah.
Graduate transfer.
Unless he gets on there, he could get in there and set the world on fire.
Yeah.
Well, then you got Tua's little brother coming in too. So does he want to battle two of them next year?
We'll get into a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Two of his little brothers, he's pretty good. I watched him play in Super, but
I think Alabama, even their third string, which will be their third string quarterback this year, they're high on him too.
I've heard all about him in the spring game, how he
that's
lit it
the
up. I don't even know his name.
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Wow.
They said he lit it up, so
Oh,
that's the next guy in line.
This one's running a little bit long, so we're gonna shut it down. So final thoughts. You definitely pro Tua.
pro Tua, I think he will get the start man.
Who do you think will get the start? And who do you think
Hurts.
deserves it?
I think Hurts.
You think he will get the
I
start?
think both of them will play, but I think Hurts. It wouldn't surprise me if Tua played more, but Hurts gets the start.
Here's the deal. Vegas has Tua as the starter. The odds-on favorite to win Heisman. They know stuff we don't know.
That's true.
Tua's going to get the start. I'm going to hate it. I'm going to cheer. It's going to sway my. I'll still stay objective and get. But I'm in the back of my mind, I'm going to think, yeah, dude, throw 4 interceptions and cost this game. So Jalen Hurts. Because let me tell you something. And I know we're trying to end this, but when that guy got took out in the second half, have you ever seen a better teammate in your life?
No.
Right.
Never in my life have
Well,
I
nice.
seen. Bro, he was cheering for Tua just like it was his little brother out there, man.
He don't cheer for himself. He just kind of sits there.
Yeah, I mean, it's outstanding. That guy's and I don't know him, obviously, stand-up guy, dude. I'm cheering for him. I hope he gets a start. If he doesn't, I hope Tua falls in his face, and I hope he comes in and he's the hero. That's what I
That could
hope.
happen too. Guys, we're going to shut it down. Please hit the subscribe button below and also hit the bell so you'll get the notifications. This is Average Joe's Sports Talk. Good night.